My name is Alan Sakyan. I'll be doing a presentation on discovering Sonder. It's a very emotional intelligence topic. We had a presenter up here earlier today. His name was Eric. Eric talked about social intelligence. Social and emotional intelligence have a lot in common. And it was really great hearing his talk and seeing all of the things that he was talking about because they are so applicable to our lives. This is going to cover a few of them as well, a little bit different in some cases, but also we'll do an activity where I think you guys will also feel a little bit of the same vibes that you felt earlier. So, quick bit about me. I'm fanatic about science communication. I host the Science Comedy Show up in San Francisco. We host different types of scientists, biohackers, nuclear fusion physicists, astrophysicists, neuroscientists. I also have an emotional intelligence, science, and futures, a podcast called 2030 Podcast. I'm writing 2 books, and I MC robotics events across the Bay Area. So, without further ado, who knows what Sonder is? Oh my goodness, nobody knows.
Tell us.
All right, so Sonder is, everyone's life is as vivid and complex as your own, with different family, with different bosses, with different relationships, with different dynamics of interpersonal relationships. Look at every single one of these people. There's 1,000 or thousands of people there, and you're walking by them, and it's really tough to fully get behind their eyes and realize that their life is as vivid and complex as your own in all of those dynamics. So, being patient with people, giving them that time of day, there's so many things that we talk about here, but this concept of discovering Sonder is a profound way for you to change your life. These words, slow down, you're doing fine. Does anyone know what song that comes from?
A clue. One clue?
Billy Joel?
Wow.
Vienna. Slow down, you're doing fine. He's so ambitious for a juvenile. So these words speak a lot to me, and why do they speak so much to me? Because we're all just like, bing, 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 bing. What do I do now? It's my only little bit of free time. So we gotta slow down. We feel like we're in this 9 to 6 sort of machine and we're just churning it a lot. And it's important to analyze that and find time for ourselves to relax, spend time in nature, spend time loving one another by dancing, by singing, by going and doing what you love outside of potentially the 9 to 5. And if you do what you love in your 9 to 5, then great, fantastic. Next slide. So here are 5 key practices that I've uncovered in my life to be incredibly important, and I would love to share them with you and see how relatable they are to you guys. So every morning when I wake up, remember that whole thing that I just did a second ago, that alarm that goes off. Well, when that goes off, I stop the alarm and I do not look at my cell phone. I refuse to look at my cell phone for 15 to 30 minutes. Here's what I do in the first 15 and 30 minutes every single day. First thing is I take deep breaths. So let's practice together. And as you guys know, right now our eyes are open. We're absorbing all this visual stimuli. Our neurons are firing because of the visual stimuli. Once we close our eyes, we lose a significant amount of stimuli. So let's do it with me. Close your eyes. Let's take 5 deep breaths together. All right, open your eyes. How do you guys feel? Breaths went faster than mine. Yep. Slow down, yeah. How else do you feel? Yeah, relaxed. Looks as though we kind of run on a high cognition, a high frequency all day. And when we take the time to slow down, close eyes and breathe, it slows that down. It feels good. Feels good. So breathing. Next. stretching. You guys probably knew this one was coming. The example of the high stress behind the keyboard, sending off emails. Of course, you get that one email that feels good. It's like, oh heck yes, we just got our next product sold, or we just got our upgrade, we just got our investor partner, whatever it may be. Those emails definitely feel good, but it can be exhausting sitting behind a keyboard all day, stressing your fingers, stressing your eyes, stressing your back and hips. So what do? We do things like the downward dog. We do things like, I don't know what that position is called, but you swing your knee over your body. Really good. Take breaks and stretch. Stretch for a few minutes every hour. And that can be something as easy as a quadricep stretch. Just something super easy. So that's been tremendously important for me. Do that in the mornings, do that throughout the day. Meditate. What does it mean to be equanimous? Does anyone know what being equanimous means? Yes? No? Being equanimous just means being mentally even. So that means when we had an example earlier today with Eric when he talked about traffic. You think somebody cuts you off and oh my gosh, they're getting in front of me in the hierarchy. But he's like, wait, what about empathy? Empathize. Maybe that person's going to the hospital. Maybe they're in a rush to get their kid, whatever it may be. And so by being equanimous, what that means is taking your time to cognize instead of react. So being reactionary is very, right when somebody says something negative, I'm right back at them saying something bad. But slowing down in that moment and being patient and cognizing gives you the ability to respond positively to something that could have potentially led to negativity. So take those deep breaths, stretch, meditate, journal. This one's extremely important. We have evolved so much as humans to now have this prefrontal cortex that gives us the ability for language, art, music, creativity, but we don't stretch that creativity. We don't fire those neurons enough. And because of that, we now succumb to a docile lifestyle sometimes. We turn it up, crank up your creativity every single day. Wake up in the morning and write down 10 things, 10 ideas that you might not execute into the world, but just 10 cool ideas. Like, let me show you guys some funny ones. Idea number 5, ship people to Africa for 1 month, mandatory when they turn 21 years old. It's just a funny idea. You want people to empathize with what it would be like to not have water, not have food, not have electricity, not have healthcare, education. Well, do something like ship them there for a month, mandatory. It's just a funny idea, just a thought, right? But it's my creativity. Of course, the ultimate solution, energy, build a sun on Earth. We're not going to do that, but it's still fun. I'm stretching my mind. And some of them are more plausible, some of them less. So journal, some creative thoughts. And last of all, gratitude. You guys already know this. Gratefulness catalyzes happiness. So let's, again, practice together. For me, this photo is a huge point of gratitude for me because it used to take months to travel across the huge ocean between countries. It used to take weeks to travel on train, or even before that on horse. So now we really have this luxury to be able to go across the ocean in 10 hours. It's a huge luxury, and I'm very grateful for it. Of course, I'm running water, electricity, all those other things. So I'd like to ask you guys to do it together with me. Let's practice. Same thing. We'll close our eyes together. This time we'll list 5 things that we're grateful for. I'll watch the time. All right, let's open our eyes. Who wants to say something that they were grateful for? Yeah?
I'm grateful that I'm here because one of my really good friends that used to sit next to me at work is no longer here.
Grateful for being alive. Next day's not guaranteed. It's just not. We don't know what could happen. So every day we wake up, it's beautiful to say that I'm alive. Express gratitude for that. Any other ones that want to be shared? Yeah?
I'm grateful for the risk takers and representing our ancestors and immigrated to this land and provide all we have here, which would not exist if they did not connect us
to all the previous lives, there's a mind-blowing statistic that there's 7 billion, 7.5 billion people living now, but 93 billion people have lived before us. All of those people built the world that we live in today. Express gratitude for them.
I'm grateful for having an amazing job, and because of that, I'm able to touch the lives of many and improve their life.
Yes, absolutely. Doing work that's empowering for oneself and for others. Yes. Yeah.
Grateful, of course, for today.
The sun. Absolutely. Yes.
So much for giving us life, giving us energy, and giving us life.
Exactly.
Plants and trees. So
That is a beautiful one to be grateful for. To be grateful for the sun, the thing that actually gives us life here in this little pocket of just one galaxy. Exactly. So those are some of the 5 keys. I do want to say this is a huge, huge part of everybody's life. If you know people that are not doing what they love today, tell them that they're dying. We're dying. Your biological clock is ticking, tick, 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 moment to moment. So if you're not doing what you love today, go and do what you love. It's easier said than done, but find the paths that you need to take to start doing what you love every day, because that's really what's going to catalyze your happiness and your fulfillment in life. All right. So now we have this concept of discovering Sonder and emotional intelligence that we're talking about. How do we successfully optimize conversation with people? Language, the evolution of language has been hundreds of thousands of years. We used to be, go ahead, Cliff. We used to be people that would grunt at each other. We used to be people that would just carve into rock and just find ways to paint. And then we slowly made our ways into more intricate designs. And then after that, then we progressed to this proto-language that we have now, where our grunts now vibrate our vocal cords a certain way, and we can interact with one another, where now you're perfectly processing what I'm saying. It's making complex thoughts. So now we have things like science comedy shows, and from grunting and artwork on walls to science comedy shows. This is the abstract part of our mind being used at its finest now. No, just kidding. This isn't the finest. This is a lot of dick jokes, but all right, let's get it. So now, what are some of these things that can shatter surface level conversations? We experienced some of it earlier today, so I'll touch base on them again. Things like eye contact, things like confidence, things like when you actually hug somebody, that you give them your full embrace, and that you spend a good second or two in that embrace, in your full comfortability. So, and more ways to shatter surface level conversations. So, wait, go back one more real quick. So this is a project that I started 2 years ago called Practice Happy. We went out into the streets of San Francisco and asked random people thought-provoking questions. What makes you happy? What impact do you want to make in the universe? What was the last thing you did that scared you? And so these are the first questions I just ask people, like, can we interview for the, yeah, okay, cool. What impact do you want to make in the universe? And it's just like, whoa, I don't know. Well, and it can be a lot, but it's important to ask ourselves these questions and to turn in that introspective mode and be like, what do I want to do? What impact do I want to make? And what was the last thing I did that actually scared me? Maybe I should break outside of that comfort zone more. So what I use is something called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and it's basically using words to alter behavior, social dynamics. And many of us use this every single day. It's guiding the conversation, as Eric mentioned earlier. So when you jump into a conversation with somebody, you guide it and you get deep with them quickly. So you ask them things like, what are you passionate about? You ask them next, why are you passionate about that? Then you ask them, what challenges do you face? Then you can get into providing them with solutions, showing them that genuine care, that you want to help them problem solve, and then ask them about their family. Where are you from? Where do your parents live? How many brothers and sisters do you have? What do they love to do? And so all of a sudden you're getting to know this person on a really deep and intimate level, really quickly. I love doing that. And hopefully we'll get to a practice here very soon. One more. So this is a really good example of how I've taken on empathy with one of my friends. This is Ishmael. Ishmael is from Sudan. He's wearing a Black Lives Matter sweatshirt, and normally you'd think, why Black Lives Matter? Why is that an important thing? And it's important to at least ask that question. So then I asked that question internally, I asked that question to him, and I sat there and I listened and I learned. And what that did for me is it slowly brought me behind the perspective of somebody else in the world that thinks a different way than I do, that is from a different upbringing. And it's important to take our time to really empathize and care. And this is that big, long embrace that I was talking about, to really give your full hug, your full love to somebody, your full energy to them. All right, so now our practice. So let's have a little chat. So the first thing I like to do is, if we could all quickly stand up, please. This is going to be really fast, hopefully really entertaining, and to pick somebody that you haven't interacted with yet today. Pick somebody you haven't interacted with today, please. All right. Go ahead. So the first thing we're going to do is get to know each other. So spend 1 minute each, like name, family, where you're from, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, good.
What's your name?
I'm Isaid.
You're Saeed?
Yeah.
I'm Alan.
Nice to meet you too.
Where's your family from?
I'm from Mexico.
From Mexico?
Yeah, I've been living here in Fremont for the last month.
Okay,
So-
cool. It's just moved. All right, so that was the get to know each other section. Next, we're going to jump into what we discussed earlier, which is what are you passionate about and why? We're going to have 4 minutes of that, 2 minutes each. What are you passionate about? Why are you passionate about it? Tell me about some, we'll get to the problems soon, but yes, jump into that. Spend some time talking about why you're passionate about it.
Motorcycles, I'm sure.
So we can, I don't know, if they have a problem, a big problem in the city, I don't know, poverty, something like that, we can improve that.
How do you think that programming could alleviate things like poverty?
So right now, new technologies, accelerating technologies are changing the world. And in order to
5 keys being wake up in the morning and breathe. First, take some deep breaths. Stretch your body in the morning and stretch your body throughout the day. Take those breaks. Meditate. Close your eyes and breathe for longer periods of time. And really focus on trying to stay even keeled, equanimous when it comes to negativity. Take time to cognize instead of react. 4 is journal. Creativity. Create. In the mornings when you wake up, ideas. Build off some, talk to friends about some, make things in the world. And the last thing, 5 of the key points is gratitude. Be grateful. Gratefulness catalyzes happiness. How cool is it that we have running water ubiquitously? How cool is it that we have food? It's ubiquitous. Electricity is ubiquitous. We have these crazy planes that fly us through the sky and get us places 10 times faster than they used to before. And it's all feats of innovation and technology that humans for hundreds of thousands of years have brought us to now, today, with their hard work. So let's use this language. Let's use this way of communication. Let's ask people and shatter through surface level conversations by asking them, what are you passionate about? Why are you passionate about it? What are some challenges that you face? How can I help you solve some of those problems? And then tell me about your family. Where are you from? How many brothers and sisters do you have? Your parents still live around here? What are they passionate about? Do you guys feel like we learned something?
Yes.
Awesome. Passion.
Passion.
Thank you guys so much. We'll take questions now.